I realized I want a baby. I actually want to have kids. The adult realization that I was going to be alone for the rest of my life. Do I actually want this? Or am I only feeling like this because of what someone else has told me this is what I want? You can choose to be selfish because you want children, and you can also choose to be selfish because you don't want them. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice. I could give two flying about you and your body, Stephen. Hi guys, welcome to Blame My Rising Sign, the podcast where we discuss everything motherhood, fertility, identity crisis, financial panic, existential dread, and occasionally astrology. Because let's face it, everyone has an opinion on whether women should have children, all except for the women who are actually trying to figure it out. I'm Chantel Cooper, and I am your host of Blame My Rising Sign, the newest podcast out on the market here, free for you guys to watch. And I cannot wait to completely get into this new podcast series with you guys. This is season 1, episode 1 of Blame My Rising Sign. Now, quick disclaimer, I did want to let you guys know that I am not a professional. I am not reliable whatsoever when it comes to any advice that I may give. My opinion is mine, and please take it with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, I just really hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you can join me on this journey of exploration of my life currently. It's going to be one hell of a journey, and I cannot wait to explore it with you guys. I want you guys to know that if you feel like this is calling to you, it probably is. And I'm in the same boat as you, whether that's confusion, stress, anxiety, fear, being scared, happy, joyful, confused again. Please welcome, take a seat, grab your beverage of choice, and we're going to get into this. I'm definitely at the point in my life now where I have people telling me when I'm going to be having kids, people telling me not to have kids, people telling me horror stories, people breaking down because of their infertility, people freezing their eggs, people accidentally getting pregnant. And I'm also at the point in life where people are just buying a cat or dog and calling it quits. Now, we are actually in my brand new studio room, and I really hope you guys like it. I painted this wall myself, as you can tell, with the really bad paint job. This actually used to be my old bedroom here at Mum and Dad's, and it's very symbolic. This room, when we first bought it ages ago, like 18, 19 years ago, this back wall was actually originally pink. And Mum and Dad painted my room entirely white. So when I sanded this wall to repaint it, some of the pink came back through, and it was very nostalgic, very symbolic, and just felt like it was definitely meant to be that this room become my podcast room for Blame My Rising Sign. Now, it is something that I really wanted to give a shot at, is this podcast. And it's just something that only recently I have been struggling internally with. And I figured if I can't find the perfect podcast where I can relate, or at the very least find guidance in when it comes to all of my questions and concerns and worries and doubts, or choices about potentially becoming a parent or a mum, or deciding not to do that entirely, I figured I'm just going to make it. I'm going to start my own podcast. And I really hope that this helps you or someone who's watching this, and hope this finds the right people. I definitely felt called to start my own podcast now that I'm 29, I turned 30 in January, and it just feels very, not like I'm running out of time, but it can also feel like that, especially when you can't find the right partner, or you feel like you have found the right partner, but you can't fall pregnant. There's always some kind of clock, and there is always some kind of pressure on us women when it comes to fertility or infertility or wanting to become a mum. And it came around very suddenly for me anyway, because I I didn't know if I wanted children, because everything came around very, like I said, quite suddenly for me with that choice. I have decided that I do want that, but that wasn't always the case. I wanted to discuss with you guys the beginnings of sort of my law, I suppose you could say, just to give you guys an idea and a background into me and why I felt like this would be a really helpful sort of resource for others, and not just others, but also for me. So this is also very much like a diary, I suppose, like a log. And I want to look back on this, and I hope people can also look back on this and find clarity or guidance. But I always thought when I was younger that I would have kids. I always thought that I would get engaged and married to the perfect person. Definitely had that high expectation on myself to meet a certain timeline. And that in itself is very self destructive because that didn't happen. And when it didn't, it really broke me because I had set such a high standard for myself to meet specific deadlines of like, okay, mum met dad at 18, my sister met her partner at 18, I'm next. So when I was 18, I met someone, I thought that was it. And it wasn't at all by any means it. He was not the one. And when that crashed and burned, I was so broken and so frustrated because it had happened for everyone else around me in my young mind. And it really made me feel like I was a failure, which is so sad to think about when I was so young that, you know, I wanted to get engaged and get married and have babies so young, without really fully growing up and experiencing life yet. And after that relationship sort of went downhill and ended, went through a very dark period of my life. And I would say when I turned about 22, I think was when my sister had her first baby. And that's my niece, Scarlett. She is so beautiful and I miss her so much. She was the perfect baby. She was happy, giggly, so smart. She is just the smartest baby, smartest kid. And I just thought this is something that I want. I look at her and I think sometimes she's just like the perfect baby. I'm like, I would really love my own. And sometimes I would pretend that she's my baby. But she really was the type of child that made you want one. So around turning, so I was 22, turning like 23, 24, then 25, then 26, 27. And by that point, it was, oh, I haven't found anybody. And that was when I came to the lonely stage of my life. That was where I pretty much realized that I was going to be alone, and I'd come to that conclusion. Our generation and our society is not at all something that I should have grown up in. I'm very much somebody who is a serious relationship kind of girl, fall head over heels with somebody, the courting, the, dates, and just giving so much love to the person that you are in a relationship with. And it was really hard to find that somebody. And I get really emotional about it, thinking about how much love I had to give. And there was just nobody in existence that I knew of who wanted me for me, who wanted to love me the way that I wanted to love them. And I had, come to the adult realization that I was going to be alone for the rest of my life. And within that lonely period of my life, though, there were positives, because I was able to find myself and, explore my sexuality, explore being an adult and understanding what it means to be alone and love yourself and be there for yourself and grow on your own, which I really needed. In hindsight, I really needed that. And I really just became comfortable with that, on being alone. And then I turned 28 and I started a new job, and I ended up finding the love of my life. I ended up meeting Mitchell, who is my current partner, and he completely took me by surprise, because he is absolutely nothing like what I had thought my type was. So that can be an entirely different episode, but should never put somebody, like your type or what you think your type is, or put somebody in a box. He is the complete opposite of what I would have thought I wanted, and I'm so much better for it, because stereotypes are bullshit, and I couldn't have found anyone better. He makes me really happy, and I'm no longer alone. And so he really came about in a funny way, because I have a very no dating anyone I work with policy. So because we work together, we see each other every day, and really just hit it off from there. I had discussed with him, and he had told me as well, that, don't really want kids. He didn't really want kids. And I had realized during that lonely period of my life that I was okay without that, because it was very much a fuck these men's mentality. Just, I don't need a man. No woman needs a man. I'm fine being on my own. Who wants to have kids with them anyway? And so I need a bit of wine. And then something changed in me. I turned 29, and I would say 3 or 4 months ago. No, 3 months ago. We'll say 3 months ago. Currently in June. I realized I want a baby. I actually want to have kids. And it really surprised me, because I was so adamant and so to the point, drawn line in the sand. I don't want to have kids, because this world, this crazy world that we live in, is so terrifying and so scary. Why would you want to bring kids up in this world? And it was a really scary moment for me, because I realized that. And I had to sort of take a step back and think, okay, do I actually want this? Or am I only feeling like this because of what someone else has told me this is what I want? Do I want this because I want this, because I want children? I want to take this next step and become a mother. I want to become a parent. And yes, there are two differences with those titles. Or do I just want to become a mum because so and so in the office talks about how great it was being pregnant, and you just think, oh, won't be that bad then. Maybe I should try getting pregnant too. It really was a moment of, let me take a step back. Let me figure out if I actually want this, because this is a very, very big deal. I had multiple conversations with Mitchell. He and I spoke about it multiple times, and we're still yet to talk about it more because it's still something that technically, as we speak, we are in the not trying stage. So we aren't physically trying to conceive, TTC, but we are in the not trying stage, cycle 2. So currently in cycle 2 of trying but not trying, and we are still yet to see if I'm going to get my period this month. So that's yet to come up soon. I will be able to take a pregnancy test as of, let's have a look, in 11 days on my Flow app. I can take a pregnancy test and see if I am preggers. But yeah, it's something that we've discussed because ultimately this is going to change your life forever. Having children is something that I had always thought of as a full-time job, which it is, and something that would take away from all of my ambitions and dreams. This now goes into the part of the podcast where we are going to discuss selfishness. And everyone has their own selfish that they choose. You can choose to be selfish because you want children, and you can also choose to be selfish because you don't want them. I don't believe in telling someone what they are because it's none of your business. But you can acknowledge yourself, which selfish you choose. And for me at the time, I had chosen my selfish, and it was to not have kids. I didn't want them, and I was smart enough to know that. I knew that if I was going to have them, I wanted to be able to afford them, because who the heck can afford to have kids in this society, in this day and age, in this economy? But also because I knew that I wanted to do things, and I had ambitions and dreams and goals that I wanted to execute, I guess you could say, and explore in my life. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to give my child, if I had one, that sort of attention that they deserve. I also knew that I wouldn't have been able to afford to provide my child with the life that they deserve, such as being able to afford to give them all of the hobbies and side activities that they would want to do, be able to afford to delve deep into any creative side that they want to as well. If they want to get into creating music, or they want to go into dance, or they're really good at playing rugby, or anything of that sort, I really wanted to be able to know that I could provide for them financially and physically with the amount of effort that I put into it as well. And I knew that the selfish I chose was that ultimately I couldn't do that at the time. I wasn't ready to do that. I wasn't ready to set aside that part of me yet. And I wasn't going to bring a child into this world and be a half-assed mum. So I knew I was smart enough to do that and make that decision, and that's what I chose. So that was the selfish that I chose, really. I feel like now, though, that I've decided that that's something that I want, and it was such a moment of pure clarity and calmness within me, as well as being completely terrified, was that now that I want this, now that I want to become a mum, all of a sudden I feel like I had just completely wasted so many years of being like anti-pregnancy, anti-becoming a mum, anti-sleeping with men, anti-men to begin with. And I just missed out on so many years, and I think back on it now, and I just wonder if I had just been a little bit more open up about it, I may have been able to take more on board from other mums and other women on the same journey. Because right now, all I feel like is like I miss some kind of email. I miss some PDF or meeting about the pregnancy community. Because what in the heck is this journey? I feel like I'm trying to absorb as much as I can from watching TikToks and Reels and, chat GPTing, trying to learn as much as I can. All of the things that I've learned, it is so much to absorb and it's exhausting. And people have been trying and doing this for years. And I can't tell these people or you, if you're watching this right now, how strong you are and how determined you are. It's beautiful. And you are so welcome here, whether you are struggling with either choosing to have kids, if you're choosing not to have them and you feel alone, that's okay. You're welcome here too. That's all right. If you feel like you have been trying and trying and trying to have a baby and it just hasn't happened and you are infertile, as they like to call it, I hate that word. You are by far the strongest person I could ever think of, ever sum up in my brain. People who are mums, people who fight cancer, people who on a daily basis like put their life on the line for anything. You are the strongest of all of us. And it really, really hurts me to think that there are people out there that have been trying for years and years and years, and they just still can't get pregnant. And it's really, really sad. And it's a fear that I don't think a lot of people like to face because it is a reality and it's scary. You could be wanting to have a baby or spend so many years against it like I did, and now you turn 29 and all of a sudden you go, oh fuck, I can't have a baby now. It's too late. We've been trying for X amount of months, X amount of years, and I'm not falling pregnant. We can't get pregnant. It is a new kind of horror, and it's a struggle not talked about enough. I feel like the trying to conceive community is so big. It is so big. It is so wide. And you see so many of the TTC TikToks, and it is heartbreaking. These women who have been trying for months and months and months, to the points where it's years, and they just see that test and there's only one line, and it's really devastating to look at. Me currently, when I've been checking each month, because I am a profusely I'm a constant tester. I test every single month. I can't help it. I just do it because I panic that I might actually be pregnant and not know it. And then I'll have a oh my god, what do they call it? That's what it's called, a cryptic pregnancy. So I always freak out. I always worry that I'm going to end up having a cryptic pregnancy. So I'm a constant tester. I'm testing all the time. But something that, again, it's still a journey for me. It's very early on, still early days, where the last cycle, my last cycle, I tested and I just kept getting negatives. And you can see them on my TikTok if you wanted to have a look. It was over a period of Mitchell and I, we'd traveled over to America. We'd gone to LA and then Chicago, and then we'd also visited Sydney. But majority of my TikTok vlogs of me testing were in LA and then Chicago. The amount of symptoms that I had was phenomenal, to the point where I was convinced that I must be pregnant. It is a new type of cruel how similar pregnancy symptoms are to PMS symptoms. Who in their right mind thought, okay, we're going to make women have PMS symptoms, but then also in the same boat, pregnancy symptoms are going to be exactly the same, parallel to parallel, you know, sore boobs, cramping, backache, bloating, cravings, nausea, just everything, headaches, migraines, getting little twitches in your eye, all of the things. Acid reflux, heartburn. I was getting it all. No, negative pregnancy tests. I was so confused, also heartbroken, also relieved, also crazy angry. It was just so many emotions. So many emotions. And it was to the point where I kind of just sat there on the couch next to Mitchell and had to cry because I just didn't want to see that negative test with that one freaking line. Did not want to see it. And that then brings me to my next stage of this podcast, the next segment, which is talking about how everything comes down to seeing those two little lines. I cannot stress enough how hopeful you become, as you guys probably already know. Just the anxiety of having to wait those 3 to 5 minutes just to look at that plastic test that you've either dipped or peed on. Also, there needs to be a better way nowadays to actually see if you're pregnant other than like peeing on a plastic stick. Come on. Surely there's something out there that's a lot more, evolutionized. Come on. To make my point about that is that I become like a compulsive, like a constant compulsive tester, as I've said. And they're expensive. They might be plastic, but they're expensive. And I go through them constantly because, again, like I said, I do not want to end up being one of those women that end up having a cryptic pregnancy. But there really needs to be a better way in order to test to see if you are preggers. I just feel like Big Farm is very greedy for making everything so inaccessibly expensive to the point where some people can't even afford to buy a test to check to see if they're pregnant for their own health. Okay, so someone needs to fix that. Stressing about the test with those 3 minutes, though, is it is the longest 3 minutes of your life. Like, you pee on it or you dip it and then you hide it because obviously you don't want to think about it. If you think about it too much, then it might actually come out negative from your negative thoughts. So you kind of just put it away, go do something else, whether it's washing, whether it's painting your nails, putting on a show, putting on a podcast. And you just listen to some music, you eat some lunch, grab a glass of wine, whatever it is, and you're just kind of waiting. And all of the thoughts are going, and you're praying, and you're also telling yourself and preparing yourself for that life change, because all it comes down to is seeing those two little lines. They have control over everything when it comes to your future. Once you flip that test over, I can admit and be the person that admits it. Every time it comes back negative, there is a small part of me that is also relieved. Just because I still don't know yet if I am ready. I don't know if you're ever supposed to be ready. If you're ever supposed to have a moment in life where you say, yeah, I'm ready. If it's supposed to be like a financial step where you go, okay, I've saved enough money, I'm ready to have a kid now. Or if you're supposed to just reach a point in your heart and say like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for that step. Or if you just feel more connected spiritually to that motherly instinct, that that motherly guide of your outer spiritual self, guiding you to that and pulling you towards it and telling you it's okay, it's time. It's just so overwhelming. It's a lot. There's no guidebook. And I do feel like there needs to be more of a community when it comes to that, especially because don't feel like we're meant to do it on our own. I tell myself that each time I take a pregnancy test, I should call mum. I should be calling mum, because I don't know what I'm going to do once, I find out it's positive. If I turn it over and it's actually positive, I don't want to face that on my own, even though I can tell Mitchell in the other room. It's just something that I don't feel like we should have to face alone. But we do majority of the time. Still feels a little bit lonely sometimes, because even I still question whether or not like Mitchell's ready to be a dad. Do I think he would be an amazing dad? Yes. Do I feel like I'm going to be a good mum? I freaking hope so. Really hope that it's something that I am able to experience. And it's still a journey for me to fully understand myself and understand if it's something that I want. Feel like when it comes to myself not being completely sure yet as to whether or not it's something that I want, it does also, it feels like it's somewhat affected by society and what others are doing and saying around me. It's hard. Why do people care so much? Why do strangers and other people care so much about what we decide? It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. It's almost angersome, because and it's not just men, it's also women, but some of them are men. And if you don't have ovaries or you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion. I'm sorry, you don't get one. You do not get an opinion if you don't have ovaries or a uterus. And they really do. They have opinions about everything. They have opinions about other people's fertility journeys or infertility journeys. They have opinions about abortions and whether they are right or wrong. They have opinions about women's bodies and how pregnant women carry themselves after, during pregnancy. It's really such a rage baity journey to be on. And that's also partly concerning factor of me potentially becoming pregnant, because I don't want people to have opinions about me or my baby when I have one, or my future children. It's none of your business. That's it. It is none of your business. My body, my choice. Your body, your choice. I could give two flying fucks about you and your body, Stephen. Two cares in the world. Like nothing. Nothing to give. No F's given. I don't care. It astonishes me how there is no limitation whatsoever about, well, just on how far they'll take it, really, when it comes to us and what we wear, or if we're having a baby, if we're not having a baby, if we've decided to abort the cell that our body has grown that doesn't even have a heartbeat yet. Like, it's something that really infuriates me. And I don't think at all very highly of most men. So it doesn't shock me, but I just would really love to know why. I would love to know why. If someone knows the why, if you want to come forward and let us know, please. Why is it that you care so much? I really hope that you guys have enjoyed listening to this podcast so far. It's been really great to finally sit in this completed studio room and talk to you guys about this, because it's been something that I've been really wanting to discuss and get off my chest for a little while now. I really want to help you guys and help myself at the same time, just with anything spiritually, financially, mentally, physically, when it comes to these types of decisions about, motherhood and fertility and just financial sides of things too, because that is a really big factor. And at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes we are blaming our rising signs and blaming on things on a spiritual sense of the word, because it's just easier to accept that than deal with the reality of things. And I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you, and I hope you guys are here for me too. And I cannot wait to see you guys for episode 2, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Little gadgets.
Yeah, isn't it cute? Little bunny tail.
Oh, what is it?
Little bunny tail. Soft as.
See that a lot of people use them now.
Yeah, I can't wait to get like an actual standing microphone that you see on podcasts that people talk onto. Yeah, I want to get one of those. But that's perfect for now. Well, I hope I talked about enough.
Yeah, we're talking for a while.
Yeah.
Good.
I guess I'm sort of used to it already, just doing my
You
usual
are.
just yapping.
You are. Yeah. Yeah.
Yapping about absolutely nothing.
You do love it. You're used to doing it, so it's nothing new to you.
Yeah.
So, it looks really good, the setup.
You like it?
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. I like it too. It'll be cool if I can do a bit more like sponsorship stuff. Get people like this kind of stuff here. They won't be able to see it on the camera. Even just these little things here, like these are so freaking cute.
I know they are. It's mine.
Poco Vino. How cute is that?
I know.
It's like one glass ready to go.
Yeah, I know.
And they have all the different colours.
Yeah, I know.
So cute.
So you could ask them to sponsor you.
I would love that. They need to bring out a Moscato one.
Yeah, you should get in contact with them.
I should.
Why not? It's the only way. It's the only way. If you put it out there, Sean.
Yeah.
They're only going to say no.
Apple, pear, and nectarine.
Is it?
Yeah, I think those are like the undernotes for this Pinot Grigio. Yeah, that was fun. That was good.
Good.
Do my little
back in your room, doing your little.
Oh my god, it feels crazy being back in here again. It's very like full circle. I feel like it was meant to be. Like I was meant to do my podcast here.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should probably get back home to my boyfriend. Hasn't even messaged me. Hasn't been like, oh, hey, when are you coming home? Or are you okay? Nothing. He's probably just on the couch playing Xbox or he's passed out.